I must break you.
Come get it!
It's time, Michael.
I will do what I must.
You will try.
Final round.
You're going down. No way.
There we go.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Time!
What's going on, guys and gals? And welcome to Good Reel Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad. The BrettMan's right over here. Our pal Chris is right down here from Beers with the Bros. But it's a Slash It Out episode. What's going on, Brad? Oh, well, let me tell you. We're joining the two. We're doing a Slash It Out today. Se7en, which will be my movie here, versus Silence of the Lambs, which Brett will be defending over there. Two classics of the genre, two phenomenal movies. It's going to be a good time. And,
don't you try to test me now, because I'm starving and I'm hungry for a win.
And some fava beans.
With a
knife. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be a fun time today. If you haven't seen our last Slash It Out episodes, we're going to put a link for those right over here. And we've had a good time so far. This is episode 5. The reason we have everybody together here from our beers with the Bros episodes and Slash It Out. We're going to try to get these out more consistently. Okay, so our goal is to start doing Slash It Out every 2 weeks, every Wednesday, every other Wednesday, and we're going to do occasionally we'll bump that out to a Saturday and do a live show. But by and large, the plan is going to be every other Wednesday, and then on the other Wednesdays, we're going to have Beers with the Bros episodes with our boy Chris down here. So now that we're all together, I figured it'd be a good time to let you guys know about that. It's going to be awesome going forward, that's for sure. So, how's it going today?
Hungover. Excuse me. Hungover, a little hungover, but got the old trusty Pedialyte here, and going to do this while drinking the beer, and we'll hope for the best. Do have a puke bucket here beside me, so things go downhill.
Oh, let's just hope that is not needed. But no, I wish I can be on that level with you right now. Wasn't a good Super Bowl Sunday, but hey, we can't win them all, so we'll try again next year. And we'll bring our own officials too.
Just so you guys know, everybody's not sitting around here hungover for no reason, okay? I know it's a couple weeks later, but last night was the Super Bowl. Brett's Chiefs just got freaking torn up by Tom Brady. I'm sorry, my friend. We were all pulling for you. So he's a little bit down. We're all a little hungover, but we're going to push through this thing and have a good time. And I'm looking forward to it. Chris, if you want, I can pour you a freaking glass of wine the same way Detective Mills does.
Could we just mention real quick how much I got screwed out the Sesame Street commercial?
Big time, dude. Freaking Big Bird took up all the screen time, damn it.
Yeah, fuck Big Bird.
I think I missed all the good commercials. Like I said, I had to stop watching it like halftime. I mean, just kind of like paying attention out of my periph. So I think I missed all the good commercials because none of those aired in the first half.
Well,
guys, I apologize for that. Bird's pissed off too. Everybody's pissed off. And that's why I'm going to use all this aggression to get this W today.
Did you see the, while we're talking about Silence of the Lambs and getting W's, did you see the trailer for Clarice? They dropped a few of them last night. Prequel series. It looked okay. I don't know. I don't know how it'll be on CBS, but it looked interesting.
Well, I just don't know how they'll freaking do it without mentioning Hannibal Lecter. That's like, to me, the big issue of the show. But other than that, the show looks great.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty good. I have a hard time watching those shows that just like feel completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know what the point of this is, but it could be kind of good. I did like the Hannibal show.
I've been talking about that with one of my friends today, man. I haven't seen it, but I added it on my list because he's talking about how good it is. Must watch TV, he said.
Yeah, it's Mads Mikkelsen does a really good job, I thought. Haven't seen them all, but what I did watch was pretty good.
Well, I will. So if you know in Seven, Morgan Freeman, Detective Somerset's, he's like, hey man, or actually Detective Mills is like, hey man, you want a beer? He's like, wine's good. And he goes over there to the fridge and he gets him a cup like you're drinking, and he fills that sumbitch up with wine. And he's like, here you go, bro. And he looks at it and he's like, what the hell? So you should have done that.
I've seen Silence several years, or it's been several years since I've seen Seven, but hasn't been that long since I've seen Silence. So I'm
surprising. I took you as more of a Seven guy, dude. But
yeah, it just happened to be like on Netflix or something. I think.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll save my opinion for the end, but
well, let's freaking dig into it, man. You guys ready to get started?
I think before we actually get started, I think we need to go to the tail of the tape.
Let's check her out, Daddy. Okay.
Damn, 91. I didn't even realize it was that old.
Yeah. So, Chris, what are your first thoughts on this tail of the tape here?
Very surprised that Seven only had a $30 million budget.
Seriously,
but I guess for 95, I guess that's probably rocking.
Yeah, that's actually quite a bit.
Yeah, kind of strange. Also, I thought that Seven was kind of 95% audience score on there. I thought it was kind of panned whenever it like initially came out, but I guess not. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the first thing I noticed was the IMDb score that were exactly the same. And then we go to the Rotten Tomatoes score, where I knew Silence of the Lamb would have been in the 90s section. But I am surprised Seven it has a critic score of 82, because I know I'm supposed to trash the movie, but I'm also going to give it respect too, that it was a very phenomenal movie, and I've gave that a golden reel as well. And but yeah, this is like domestic box office and budgets, all that's pretty close. And both movies, great cast. So this will be a fun fight.
Guys, you see what happened here? It's actually, I mean, about the time this comes out, maybe a week later, it's going to be the 30-year anniversary of Silence of the Lambs. Both of these movies are pushing 30 years old, which is surprising to me when you said that. So that to me is kind of interesting, that they have aged phenomenally well. When you look at it that way, 30 years is old, man. Yeah, I mean that and it's looking great. Yeah, and like you guys already said it about the budget and everything, and the critic score. I'm surprised about the 82. I thought the critic score would be a little bit higher for Seven, but it is what it is. I could see critics not liking it. So overall, I think I'm ready to get into this.
82 is not a bad score. Like anything 80 and above, to me, I think that's a very good critic score. But yeah,
it's fresh. I just kind of consider this movie to be like a masterpiece. To me, it's perfection, and I'm surprised it's not in the 90s. But
I wouldn't say perfection, because Silence of the Lamb is perfection.
Oh, we're gonna get into it, my friend. You keep talking that smack, you're gonna get smacked with the smacker.
Don't make me send a box to your house.
What's in the box?
All right, so I say, without further ado, Chris, you're officially charged of this show now. So this is your show, so go right ahead.
You got it, man.
And we all know what kind of we all know Chris at this point. We're gonna have some crazy ass questions. I don't know what's gonna happen. This could go any direction.
I thought that it would be kind of fun to include a couple of hypotheticals in here, a couple of would you rathers. Okay, you guys okay with that?
I'm good with it.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I want to get a little crazy. I want to get a little fun, almost like an 80s horror movie. But I will start off with something simple here, and I want to talk about, what do you guys think about the atmosphere in these two movies? Right? Who did it better? Who created a sense of dread better? Right? Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
Brad, I'll let you go first.
Dude, to me, Seven's got this all day. I mean, it is the most, you have to take a shower after you watch this movie. It is so freaking disgusting. And you can feel every bit of atmosphere from the very opening scene. Maybe not the opening scene with Morgan Freeman in his apartment, but once they go to the freaking murder investigation of the gluttony guy, this pouring rain, the whole movie is drenched in rain until the very end. It's the sunniest shot of the movie, but also the craziest. But anyway, the whole movie is just raining. It's freaking nasty. Every time you go to these crimes, you see like Brad Pitt, he's been doing homicides for 5 years. He goes into the gluttony guys. He looks in the bucket and he freaking gags, man. Like you just feel how nasty that room is. And like the lighting too, along with the score that's going into it, it is freaking awesome. And honestly, this has some of the best atmosphere of any movie I've ever seen, period. Not to take anything away from Silence of the Lambs, but Seven is just unmatched in this category, I think. Everything from, again, like the rain. You don't even know what freaking city you're in. They never at one point mention the city in this movie. You just know it's a dark-ass city. It's too dark to have a name, and it's just, it's insane. And then you get into the freaking sloth guy's room with the freaking felony forest up there, the freaking all the air fresheners and stuff up there, and yeah, you can just feel the sense of nastiness in there. And then overall, this whole movie is just so negative, such dread. It's all about apathy and all that. And then it's like, it's so dreadful. It's not. Somerset says it perfectly when they're sitting at the bar. He said, this isn't going to have a happy ending, don't you? And you can feel that throughout the whole movie. It's not going in good territory.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, yours has creepy atmosphere, but damn, mine is what we call the masterpiece of uncomfortable atmosphere. Because like one of the great things I've noticed about like this movie is the lighting too. The lighting wasn't like all bright and colory. It was more like a darker light color, like just to kind of set the mood that this is not going to be a happy, jolly, good time movie. This is a movie where it's going to take you on the ultimate thrill ride and just make you so uncomfortable. And I can go on for days on uncomfortable scenes, but let's just go with the big one. It's when the Hannibal Lecter hangs that police officer kind of like an angel like this. Do y'all remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
With the lighting and all. Oh, man, like so creepy on like how he does that. And how creepier can it get? Hannibal Lecter is a freaking cannibalist. Like he eats other people. Like you can't even imagine how sick that is, or how to actually do that. And just what even makes it even creepier with the like an atmosphere. He just like is so intelligent, and just his presence just immediately makes you feel uncomfortable. And we easily saw that early on with Clarice. Got super uncomfortable with Hannibal Lecter, and shit almighty, we got Buffalo Bill, who's a very creepy villain in this movie that creates an uncomfortable atmosphere for his acts that he does. So easily, Silence of the Lambs is more creepier than Seven.
Well, all those are creepy, but when you're talking just sheer sense of atmosphere, yeah, I mean, it's like when you're actually talking about atmosphere, which meaning you can feel the environment you're in and the elements that come with it. Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, yeah, all that stuff's creepy.
Man, you don't feel that in the mental asylum, or just like that little like area where Hannibal Lecter's in. Immediately, you get chill bump factors for how creepy it is for atmosphere.
It's cool, but I don't smell it. Like when Somerset and Mills walk into Gluttony room here at the beginning, I smell Mr. Gluttony freaking rotting away at the table, dude. Like it's just so freaking, it's so nasty, so disgusting. And then you can hear the rain throughout the whole movie. Like it's fantastic. It all comes together to oh man, like I literally can't watch the movie and not take a shower after it.
Oh, well, shooting Buffalo Bill's house, like towards the end of the movie where it's dark and all that, like that's, and where all the moths are flying around and all that. Oh man, again, creepy atmosphere. Like I wouldn't want to go to that damn house. I don't want to be like, imagine being Clarice and that in the dark right there, not being able to see anything. Like you can feel that of what she's going through, and that creates a lot of creepy atmosphere.
You know what else you can feel in that house though is really smooth, silky skin. You'll get some freaking hydration done there. Yeah, your skin after you leave that house is going to be nice, and it's going to be smooth and luscious.
Yeah, it's like you took a bath in a vino.
It is a good house, Bert. I can't say it's a bad house. I just can't. Yeah. Seven to me has the best atmosphere of all time, I think.
Yeah, I don't know about that, my friend.
I would say that Se7en is relentless. Like you were talking about. I think from start to finish, it's kind of relentless. But I think what Silence does really well is like it makes you nervous the entire time. You know what I mean? Like the whole time.
Like you never know what's going to happen.
Even before Buffalo Bill, when she goes to go to visit Hannibal all those times, every time she's finding something a little more. She goes back on those visits, and you're nervous every time. So I think that that's a good setup there as well.
Most definitely. It does make you nervous. It does make you nervous, but God, it does not make you take a shower. That's for sure.
I'll give you that much. So, all right. So now we get that first question out of the way. I want to pepper in, a would you rather? Okay. Now for this, I would say, this is our situation. For 24 hours, you have to carry on your daily activities and do everything like you normally would. All right. So for 24 hours, you live your normal life. Would you rather do that with a All-American Buffalo Bill skin suit or the John Doe giant knife cock?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Repeat that fucking question.
For 24 hours, you just have to live your life as normal. But you either have to do it in a Buffalo Bill skin suit. So basically, you just have to like wear someone else's skin over your skin for 24 hours. Or you have to wear the giant knife cock apparatus.
From Se7en.
From Se7en. Yeah.
In this situation, I'm going to have to jump on that freaking skin suit situation. I think the other one I can put on some clothes, some jackets and stuff. The other one would pose way too many questions. You couldn't cover it up. It would cut through any kind of pants that you put on. And I don't want to answer those questions. So I'd rather just wear the skin and put a jacket on.
Yeah, wear the skin. Just screw that second option. Yeah, I'm definitely wearing the skin.
Yeah, that makes me crawl. You guys could just call into work and just sit at home with the giant knife cock on.
Either way, I don't want anything to do with it.
Okay, cool. All right. This is kind of a two-parted question here, but I would say, how do you guys feel about like the psychological toll that it takes on you to, not just from an atmospherical perspective, but like, just all the film, just watching it in general, the psychological toll that it kind of takes on you as a viewer, by the end of the film.
Okay, with that, just kind of like from a psychological, like, are you talking about psychological, like from the characters, or just like from me watching the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I think just whatever you're left with watching it, and you can equate that, to like, how empathetic you can be toward the character or whatever else. Just however you feel, by the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. With Clarice, like you immediately, like at the beginning, you are slowly getting an attachment to her. Like there's something to her character. And then when she meets Hannibal Lecter for the very first time, we care more about her just because we know Hannibal Lecter is playing all these mind games with her, and you could kind of almost like along with her be affected by Dr. Lecter's mind games as well. Of like even making you feel like, or just think to yourself of what he's saying, along with like Clarice, because Clarice the entire film is judging herself about what Hannibal Lecter is saying, and just like telling Hannibal like all these secrets about her, even though she is she's a strong character, but when it comes to Hannibal Lecter, man, she lets her guard down. To me, that's just a psychological impact in that movie. And with the victim for Buffalo Bill that we got introduced to the movie as well. Gosh, imagine like putting your shoes in what that girl is going through, like at the bottom of that well, of just like it's just that like will really mess you up in the head. Like I couldn't imagine like any girl trying to come out of that situation positive. Like that's got to take many years to get over that fucked up shit.
It's good, okay? It's good, but think about this. Think about this. At the end of Silence of the Lambs, they catch their guy, right? It's a kind of a happy ending per se, for all intents
Yeah,
and
but
purposes.
the damage is already done.
The damage is done, but he's caught. It's fine. It's doozy. Think about what happens in 7, okay? This thing starts out so dark, so like again, you start off things with a bang. You see Gluttony guy, right? And you see this dysfunctional partnership between Mills and Somerset. Like they don't get along. They're like, Somerset is all, yeah, I'm retiring, I'm leaving, I'm too old for this shit. Mills is like, I got shit to prove. Like, I'm not no freak. Yeah, why do I got to go canvass the neighborhood? My badge says detective, same as yours, and all that. Like, you see that, he's jacked, he's ready to be there, but it's not working. They're not meshing, right? And that goes on. So much negativity. Then you get to like the dinner scene, right? When Somerset comes over to dinner and you meet the wife, you meet Tracy, and they have a nice moment where the subway is rattling the house. Morgan Freeman's cracking up for 10 minutes. Like you start to feel a little light. Like there's a little bit of hope, like some human connection there, if you will. Things are really meshing. They're going well. And then you kind of start to see that partnership develop, the friendship develop between Mills and Somerset. And you might even think they're about to catch this guy. Like they start putting some clues together. And they're like, they show up at his house and then shit hits the fan. And then after all that happens, John Doe turns himself in. He's like, oh shit, that builds suspense because he turns himself in on purpose. And he's like, oh, there's 2 more bodies. 5 have been killed. There's 2 more out there. You're like, what's going to happen? And then like you get one little nice scene again together when they're shaving their chests together. One little last scene of friendship. But like, okay, this might end up being a happy ending. But it's not. You get to the ending, and it is the craziest freaking, most batshit depressing ending of all time. And it's a roller coaster ride, man. You're down here, things go up just for a second, and you're like, oh, there's a little bit of hope, and then it just gets darker again, man. And every time that freaking that hill comes down, it goes to even darker and a deeper place, and it's like, it's a psychological freaking nightmare, man.
Yeah. I think so. And there was something else that was going to be, I was going to add shock value to that question, but it didn't seem like it was fair to add that in there.
Whoa. What do you mean it's not fair?
Because obviously 7 takes the shock value.
You're the moderator. You're supposed to play equal terms. Like you're telling me that when Hannibal Lecter tricked everybody wearing the police officer's face in that ambulance is not almost equivalent to the 7.
That is
okay.
True. Yeah, I mean, it could be, but
that's a good moment.
Yeah, but and for Claire Leach to show up at Buffalo Bill's house, not knowing what she's about to get herself into, that was a shock. And of course, the phone call from Hannibal Lecter when we thought the movie was over, they're like, "Oh crap, he's still out there."
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something you don't already know. Okay. There's this moment in 7 where like shit, like they're not like, okay, it's at the point where freaking Brad Pitt's like, you know what? This is us right here. He's fucking with us, like he's doing that. And then they get the reveal, they get the fingerprints right behind the painting. And they're like, okay, we got our guys. We got our freaking guy. And they're like, the SWAT team gets together. They freaking bust in there. And then you get Mr. Sloth. Okay. Best effects you've ever seen in the 90s. Sure. Okay, cool. But they walk up to the guy. He's dead as fuck, right? Wrong. He gets up in there and he freaking, yeah. It's the most shocking. It's one of the most horrifying moments in film. Best jump scares. One of the best jump scares of all time. It was on Bravo's list of 100 scariest movie moments back in the day. I mean, that to me, I love the Hannibal Lecter elevator switcheroo scene. But this to me was the first time you see it, that's the last thing you expect to happen.
True that. So maybe I was wrong to not include that in there. I think they're great on that level for different reasons. I just think it's almost the slow burn of silence, does eventually kind of take a toll on you by the end, and you do.
Well, especially with them developing with Hannibal Lecter and like everything that he is, that puts him in the place that he is, and like with the face mask and everything. And then when he finally found a time to attack, holy crap, we were not ready with the brutality he brought on screen.
Yeah, and there's also something to be said about the sort of friendship that Clarice is developing with him pretty much throughout the entire movie. And then at the end of it, you almost kind of think like, oh, okay, well, maybe, Hannibal, he did all this fucked up shit, but he has a soft spot for her. You kind of feel for him. And then he just starts eating motherfuckers and making skin angels, Okay, fellas, we're going to pop out of that and we're going to pop right back into the world of Would You Rather. Okay.
Oh boy.
And so this is my question here. Who actually, you know what? I'm not even going to go with that. Let's do an FMK real quick. You want to?
Why not?
Okay.
All right. We have 3 characters here, and you got to fuck one, marry one, kill one. Hannibal, Buffalo, John Doe. Brad, you're on the clock.
Oh gosh. Okay. If I'm marrying one of them, let's go ahead and knock that out. It's going to be Hannibal because I think he has the most potential to make some stacks, and I think if you're on his good side, he's not going to eat you. So I think that's going to go very well. If I had to kill one, it would be Buffalo Bill because he is weird as hell. And no, you're right. Okay, if he tucks it in, yeah. Okay, so we'll reverse those. We'll kill John Doe because he's batshit crazy, and we'll fuck Buffalo.
Yeah. So you're saying that you would fuck him? You fuck him real hard?
Hey, dude.
You nasty.
He's got lotion, dude. He's got lotion.
But I hate to agree with Brett here. I agree with Brett with every single thing that he said because you marry Hannibal Lecter because, again, at least he's a good cook and he's intelligent. You can have intelligent conversations with the guy. And like Brad said, if you're on his good side, he's probably not going to eat you. Buffalo Bill, you just pretend he's just like the hottest chick you ever seen and just whoop you down like 10 beers and just get it over with. And of course, John Doe, no, he's creepy. Want nothing to do with him. Go ahead and kill him.
Wow, I thought we would be a little. I thought we would have a different answer, at least one of us. But yeah, I'm in complete agreement. I mean, yeah, there's something to be said about all the lotion laying around inside that house. I mean, we already know this guy has the softest beehole this side of the Mississippi.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. No doubt. So, okay. We're all in agreement on that then. Yeah, no doubt. So, to move into the next question here. You know what? Let's talk about the performances, right? Both of these movies have really great casts. You're talking about, Brad Pitt, which is one of my favorite actors of all time. But, you also got Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey in there for a limited time. Gwyneth is in there. And then you've got Ted Levine and Jodie Foster and of course, Anthony Hopkins, who won the Oscar for Hannibal Lecter. But let's talk about performances.
Yeah,
Mark?
and I'll add to what you said. Yeah, he did win an award. Anthony Hopkins did. He not only just did that, he created one of the most iconic villains in the history of cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just atmosphere. Like, again, just the presence of Hannibal Lecter just says everything. And every great villain has to have presence. And he obviously brings that to the table. He's so intelligent where it's scary with what he can do with that intelligence to get what he wants, and that is human flesh in his stomach. And just like every scene,
yeah,
don't ever do that again. And it's not your turn. But
that looks like Jason.
No, but with Hannibal Lecter, just every scene in this movie, he steals. Like the spotlight is on him. If it's supposed to be a scene about Clarice with Foster, freaking Anthony Hopkins is like, nope, this is my scene. I'm taking the damn scene. And he just goes with it and just dominates that performance. And of course, with Jodie Foster, she wasn't supposed to play Claire Lease in this movie, even though she is like kind of like a last replacement of it. And bam, she really take that like as an insult, like, hey, I can nail this role in Claire Lease, and damn it, she did. She's so likable. Like she is like a young rookie, just wanting to get her place because like in this movie, it kind of like goes with the themes of like this is a man's world, not for a woman, especially like for an officer, like an FBI agent. But no, throughout the whole movie, she evolves to be like a very respected police officer and detective. And of course, with every good hero, we're going to have a great villain. And I'm not talking about Hannibal Lecter. We're talking about Buffalo Bill. And with Ted Levine playing Buffalo Bill, he was absolutely fantastic with his role. He's like just easily makes you feel uncomfortable. He's a very sick individual of what he does with the women's skin and with his collection of moths. Just a very sick individual, and Ted nails that character and brings it to life where it makes you very uncomfortable.
This is a tough one, man. This is actually a really good question. This is a tough question for me. But I'll start off by saying there's no way I can compete with Anthony Hopkins' performance in this battle. It's just not doable. However, when you take the collage of performances here, I think that's where we got the strength over here on the 7th side, and that's because I actually find as far as villains go, when you're talking Ted Levine and Kevin Spacey, I find John Doe much more of an effective villain. Just starting off with his performance, he's like when he's talking in the car, it goes on. I mean, it's a long scene, but you're so sucked into it because of his performance. You can tell he's not right in the head, and he plays the performance so well that like, he's not right in the head. Like it's like you can see that he's insane, man. And you can see that it's through the performance. You put in some other John Doe actor here, and you're not going to see that as well as you do with him. I think that he blows that away. He creeps me out. And we'll get into the character side of things later, I'm sure. But, I think as far as the performances go too, like he's a standout. Obviously you have Morgan Freeman playing the veteran detective here. The kind of apathetic, negative Nancy, just freaking, looking down on everything, wants to point, yada, yada, plays that to perfection as well, but he's wise at the same time. He's got a lot of good advice for both Mills and for Tracy. And that goes really well, I think. But to me, man, the standout, like you said here, Chris, is Brad Pitt, man. Again, I think, and a lot of it's writing, but Brad Pitt pulls it off. Like you can see he's got that attitude. He's got that ego about him, and it's all with the subtle nuances. And it's also like, again, some of this is writing, but the little things that he does, like feeling when Somerset asks for wine and he gets the freaking tall ass glass and he hands it to him, and Somerset's like, what the heck's this? Like, that's just a little thing of his character. But again, we'll get into the character side of things, but he gets he's so many great quotes from him in this movie. One of my favorites is this. And again, this goes back to the performance, because he totally pulls it off. It's all Brad Pitt here. He says, and I got to know what I'm going to save later, because I think it's going to come better later. But this first one, he's a nutbag. Just because the fucker's got a library card doesn't make him Yoda. Like, he just freaking nails that, dude. And just quote after quote, the whole thing where he bends over on the table and he's like, yeah, he's fucking with us right now. That's what he's doing. Everything he does, he's just captivating, man. And to see the dialogue between him and Kevin Spacey at the end, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Gwenny P is pretty good too.
Yeah, she's very subtle. And what my favorite thing about Brad Pitt in that was that he is so subtle throughout the entire thing, and then at the very end of it is just like able to take it up to 11.
Oh yeah, that ending scene, dude. When he's
the emotional turmoil,
yeah, when he's sitting there, and he's got the freaking gun in his hand, and he's like, Chris does it best. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because he keeps going back and forth, where he's like,
yeah.
It's like, What's in the box? But yeah, so I love how subtle it was up until the end there. Yeah, but you brought something up, and that was probably going to be my next question, which was to talk a little bit about the characters of each film and kind of how much we like, or the likability, I guess, of the characters and what you feel for them and whatnot.
You want me to go first this time, Brett?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of stuff like I just said with Mills. There's a lot of little subtle things that he does in the movie. Just watching his action, like the wine thing, you wouldn't even pick up on probably your first time watching the movie. Maybe you would, I don't know. But the way he comes home and he's freaking playing with the dogs, he's like rolling around in the freaking newspaper and stuff. And the way he, like, when his wife calls him at work and he said, he's like, Mills. And then it's like, hey, it's your wife. He's like, oh, what are you calling me at work for? I told you not to call me. He gets in the corner all quiet and stuff. Like those little things that he does, man. It's so good. And has endless quotes. You get on to Kevin. Obviously, Morgan Freeman's fantastic. He plays a great character. I've already touched on it. I won't say it again. But he's just somebody that you can kind of grow to. And he's kind of like the one sense of calm throughout this movie that you can kind of relate to, I guess, maybe a little bit. You get, Mills is kind of just, he's so emotionally, he reacts with his emotions so much, and Mills is just, he's that smooth sailing kind of guy. But you get to John Doe, man, and this guy is such a complex villain. Because as I said earlier, you can see how insane he is through the performance of Kevin Spacey. But like when he's talking, like he's got motives, like they're twisted, they're sick, but like he's like, I think Mills says it early in the movie, he's preaching. It's essentially what he's doing. He's got the 7 deadly sins and he's killing people with those sins. And he's got twisted or not, he's got a motive. Like he's like, yeah, man, these people are disgusting. I have no sympathy for them. They're freaking, they deserve to die. I got enjoyment out of this. Like it's twisted, but man, it's there. And then, like, as he's talking to Brad Pitt in the car at the end, I love this scene. He's talking to him and he's kind of riling him up. And then Brad Pitt just loses it. He's like, I could have killed you. The only reason you're still here is because I didn't kill you and all this. And Brad Pitt loses it. He's like, you're a fucking t-shirt. You're a movie of the week and all that. And then you see this nice little subtle smile from John Doe. Like, he's just like, yeah, I know I got him. He's our wrath right here. It's awesome. But then this brings me into my next quote, and this is a direct comparison to John Doe to our boy Buffalo Bill on the other side of things. It's from David Mills, and they're talking about, this is while they're trying to figure out who John Doe is, and Somerset's like, oh yeah, he's a smart guy, and then Mills comes in, come on man, he's insane. Look, right now he's probably dancing around his grandma's panties, rubbing peanut butter all over himself. That, to me, when I heard that freaking quote, I'm like, that's Buffalo damn Bill right there. Dude, he's out there running around in the mirrors, tucking it in. I'm like, this Kevin Spacey guy is way more put together.
Okay, I kind of like from the last question, so I'll be a little brief because it's kind of like what I did with the last question. It's kind of like with this question too. Hannibal Lecter, just great job, like creating the presence factor with any great villain. Like any scene he's in, you're going to be totally invested in, and just his conversations with Claire Lease are the stars are kind of like the highlights of the movie. To me, like Claire Lease and Hannibal Lecter's, like their chemistry with one another is easily better than Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman's. Like theirs is good too, but Claire Lease and Hannibal Lecter, you definitely want to hear like every single conversation they're having, and you're just in fear that Hannibal Lecter is going to win the battle of the minds with Claire Lease. But towards the end, Claire Lease, she's getting stronger with each conversation with more confidence. And Jodie Foster really brings that into the Clarice character. And then with Buffalo Bill, sick individual, he plans everything out, just kind of like how Kevin Spacey's character in Se7en plans everything out too. And just very great, just again, sick individual. And Buffalo Bill's just an iconic villain, and he just does a great performance.
Yeah, he's also freaking in his grandma's panties, rubbing himself in peanut butter, dude.
Hey,
Which is
it
not-
relaxes the motion. Oh God! Oh, but Bill dropped peanut butter over his penis.
Hey, dude, you know what? Sometimes you got to tickle the pickle, and that's how you do it, man.
He's freaking batshit crazy, dude. There was a couple more things I wanted to throw in on Mills' character while we're here that I forgot. And it won't be long. I'm just saying I love the way his when he gets to Somerset is reading all the books at the library, and he said, "Mills, you should read these. They'll help you out." And he's reading it. He's freaking out, dude. He's like, "God dang, freaking Dante, motherfucking stupid!" Yeah, and he's like, he gets the cliff notes for the books. Like, that's just such a good character moment for him, just to kind of see what he's all about. Like, he's going to take the shortcut, but he's not patient enough. It's all like being like a Jedi, dude. Like, he's just not ready. He's just too ready to freaking go, man. And I also love the scene. It's kind of a similar character moment when he after the intense ass badass chase scene with John Doe, and when he kicks the door in, and he said, "Well, there's no sense of arguing unless you can fix that." And then you get Somerset, "You stupid motherfucker." Again, taking shortcuts though, like not doing things the right way, like just going the quick way.
Puts me in the mind of what's that? Wanted, then shoot this motherfucker here.
Wanted's a good one.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so let's talk about the endings of these two films. You know, both have a certain sense of shock value that we talked about earlier, but let's talk about how they, how you kind of what they leave you with.
Oh man. Just with me, both endings are absolutely fantastic. Like both third acts, just brought something that like to the cinematic like industry that we will never ever forget ever again. But I'm just going to barely give it to my movie, A Silence of the Lambs, because like we finally get the slow burn payoff of what Hannibal Lecter like does of how dangerous he is, and when he is unleashed. Holy hell, he goes for it. Like eating the officer's face, beating him with that knife stick, literally surgically removing his face and putting it on himself so he can escape as a free man. Like, just like, it's hard to explain of how freaking like uncomfortable that is, and like how great, especially from a movie from 1991. Just to go balls to the wall crazy with such an iconic villain and that. And we just figured that'd be the end of it. Oh no. When Claire Lease goes to Buffalo Bill's house without her knowing she's at Buffalo Bill's house. Oh gosh, just the thrill ride just continues to a whole nother level. Like you're worried about Claire Lease the entire time until she's starts to realize I'm seeing the moths everywhere going, "Oh, I'm not safe. I gotta arrest this man." And then that's when the whole like in the dark in the basement scene, just really chilling, and just like you fear for Clarice the entire time. And then of course she gets that lucky shot on Buffalo Bill, and then we're like. After that, Clarice is getting celebrated, like, say, "Hey, you're one of the hot shots now. Great job." And you think, happily ever after. And then we get that phone call from Dr. Lecter, just sinking it in, like just landing one more blow to everybody. And then, of course, he says that famous line, "I wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old flan for dinner." Just to end it on just that chill, like just that uncomfortable line. And then clearly he's going, Lecter. Amazing ending. Like I get like for Brad's, like his ending is great too, but I'm just telling you, just by a hair, I give it to Silence of the Lambs, just because not only does it not just focus on one big thing, it focuses on like two big things that both of them can turned out to be great endings, but they combined it to one steadily flow ending.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like the ending of Silence of the Lambs, but 7 to me is one of my favorite endings of all time. Period. I like a dark ending. And because mostly because you don't, not necessarily because I'm a dark person, but because you just don't get that a lot. It's new, it's fresh, and you get so much darkness in 7, and it never gives you that. It doesn't give you that redemption period that you would expect to get in a movie like this. And it's foreshadowed. You see Somerset earlier. Again, I mentioned it earlier, but he says, this isn't going to have a happy ending, right? If he's the devil himself, maybe then the expectations would be there. But other than that, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. But it's such a suspenseful thing, man. This whole thing is drenched in rain. And then you get this nice sunny ending sequence outside for the first time in the whole movie. You're like, okay, things are looking up for our guys, but they're not. Like the whole way that it plays up after John Doe is arrested, he goes in there, he gets the lawyer, and he said, okay, there's 2 more bodies he wants to show you, but he's only going to take Mills and Somerset, and he's only going to do it at this time. You already know something's going on. You know something. John Doe's got the upper hand, as Somerset would say. It's not going to go well for our heroes. There's 2 bodies left. There's 2 detectives. Something's not adding up here. How's this going to work? And it kind of plays like throughout the movie that, Wrath will go to Mills, but maybe Envy could go to Somerset because he's like, he has a couple moments earlier in the movie with Tracy where he's kind of, you could see almost that he's envious of their life, that they're having a baby and whatnot. And he was like, he talks about his past like almost like a missed opportunity when he almost got married. So you're almost thinking like, these are going to be the last 2. And then the freaking van pulls up once they get out in the freaking woods or the field or whatever. The van pulls up. And as soon as you see the box, like you kind of know what's going to happen. But up until that point, you have no idea. Like this is not something you're going to predict. Once you see the box though, you're like, okay, I might know where this is going. And then Somerset, once he opens it up, you don't see it, which is great. This is awesome. You don't see Tracy's head in the box. That sounded funny, but you don't see her head in the box, which is awesome. You just see Somerset's reaction and him running across the field. Yeah, get away from here. John Doe's got the upper hand, he says. And and then just that performance from freaking Brad Pitt, man, and then him just ultimately giving in to that wrath, blowing John Doe away. Dude, it's freaking incredible. It's awesome. I mean, the way that because he kills the bad guy, right? You're supposed to feel good about that, right? When Buffalo Bill dies, we're all excited, but he kills him. He kills John Doe, and you're like, God dang, they lost. The good guys lost, even though the bad guy's dead. They lost, and it's such a fresh take on this. It's awesome.
Okay, and lastly, just to kind of wrap it up a little bit, I know whenever the Tell the Tape came up, we were talking about 30 years is a long time for these 2 movies really to stay relevant and be as good, to hold up. They're still as good today as they were then. I just want to talk a little bit about like what was groundbreaking and what kind of made these 2 movies able to sustain that kind of longevity, because a lot of movies that came out in the 90s, especially horror films and stuff like that, you kind of just forget about them. So what was it that kind of you think made these 2 stick around, and be as relevant for as long as they have been?
Yeah, the biggest thing with my movie is just the iconic character of Hannibal Lecter. Like he's a character that just lives on for like many years, just because of how great Anthony Hopkins just nailed that role and to bring that character to life. And we have some other good characters too, like Buffalo Bill is an iconic villain too, like that. He's very entertaining and people actually remember his things, and people love what Jodie Foster did with the Clarice character and always wanted to cheer for her going up against these 2 iconic villains too. I think to me, like she's one of the most underrated heroes in like any thriller movie of all time. Just now when I'm more thinking about it in that way. But just again, mainly it is Anthony Hopkins and what he did with the Hannibal Lecter that will live throughout the rest of time.
Yeah, I think you're right about Silence of the Lambs. I think it totally is that character. That was probably one of the best performances of all time at the time. Going into Seven, I think the one thing that really makes it stand out is the way it subverts your expectations. Like it goes completely different directions from ways you would think a movie like this would go. Which, you know, a movie like this, a meeting like a murder investigative thriller kind of thing. Like usually you're like, okay, they're going to figure things out. Bad guy's going to get caught. It's going to go that way. It doesn't happen that way with this one, to put it simply. And I think that's one thing that really makes it stand out, as well as the dark tone in this. This really reminds me, well, actually, I guess I should say True Detective, the first season, really reminds me of Seven, with the sense of just dread throughout, and the digging farther and farther into darkness, just getting more dark as the movie goes along. It's not something you see a lot of. That's why I was such a fan of True Detective, is because it's kind of the same thing. It's really a rare occurrence to see something this well crafted be so dark at the same time. You know, usually you get something when you look at the masterpieces of film. There's usually a little bit of element of hope in there at some point. This doesn't have that, and I think that really makes it stand out compared to most films, and that's why it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I could go along with that, man. And you know, I'll say it. For me, I think it's really kind of difficult to compare these two, because I think that they both kind of blur that line between a straightforward horror film and then like a psychological.
Yes,
you know,
they're both.
thriller.
Yeah, psychological thrill ride.
Yeah, and you know, but they're both completely different animals. Where, you know, Silence is the very you know, it's a slow burn, you know, with a big payoff at the end, versus, you know, we talked about with Seven, where it's just kind of relentless the entire time. It just kind of puts you in a pit of filth, and you're just there the entire time. You know, and even like Brad spoke about, where, you know, even you have your glimpses of something better, it just never comes. So they're kind of hard to compare in that way, but both very good. Obviously, both still very relevant and still very great films. But we're talking about, you know, basically 30 years later. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to hold up after all that. And I don't think I had really thought about it before, but now thinking about they both had really good like effects, like practical effects for that time, because they're so old. You know, I mean, we probably could have done a whole segment.
Yeah, especially for the 90s. Yeah, like the practical effects for both movies were like, because I'm like a fan of practical effects where it just makes it feel so real that it can actually happen. And both of these movies like really, really nailed it.
Yeah, they really did, man. Between Hannibal, is that the end of the episode? Are we going off the record now? I mean, like, not off the air here, but we can say good things about the other movie now.
Absolutely not, buddy. You're still in the hot seat. You can't say shit about Silence of the Lambs. I mean, it's up to you guys. Whatever you think, man.
That's the last question. That was the last question.
Yeah, I had one. Well, I was gonna do this one, and then the same thing, man. I get these great. I thought I had these great questions, but I felt like we teetered on the line so much with these other ones that it just began. So my last question was going to be, if you had to go out, you have to go out on the town drinking. Okay, would you rather go out on the town with Buffalo Bill or John Doe?
Oh man,
But we already did Fuck, Marry, Kill, so if you guys feel like that's obsolete, then don't worry about it.
No, I think it's a different question. I'd go with John Doe. I think he would have more interesting conversation because he is intelligent, as twisted as he is. I think he's got.
True.
I've talked to some people, you know, that are not right in the head in my days, and honestly, the conversations are interesting, especially when you find someone that's like they got some issues, but they're also intelligent at the same time. Just to hear, like, smarter than all of us combined. Just to hear that, I think that would make for some pretty good questions. What's funny?
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about my answer. I'll go with Buffalo Bill because we will just tear the town up and we would be doing crazy shit. Like, I don't want to have a nice, lovely conversation with John Doe. If I'm going to be drinking and doing with somebody, I'm doing freaking Buffalo Bill. We'd be having dance parties. We would be doing all kinds of.
Yeah, dude, y'all be tucked all night. Hell yeah.
I could just see you guys getting ready to go out on the town, dude. Standing in front of the mirrors. It's like, hey, bro, pass me that lotion. I need some for my skin over here.
Yeah, just me butt ass naked with a freaking like little sachet purse right in front of me. And Buffalo Bill's like, can I get some of the lotion? Oh God, this is getting out of hand. But no, in short, my answer is I have a couple of drinks with my boy Buffalo Bill.
Okay. Yeah, I could probably go either way on that one, but I definitely think that if I went out to absolutely rage, I would probably go with Buffalo Bill. The only other thing I would say is like John Doe seems like he might be a little bit socially awkward, so I don't know if you would get too much out of him, like taking him out. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, Buffalo Bill, I feel like he could fucking rage, dude.
I'm telling you, man, we're in for one hell of a night with Buffalo Bill.
I feel like you guys would be on Jameson ginger ales all night.
Yeah, but not with only the ginger ale though. But I got I have to change my answer. You guys made a valid point. I think I could see us sitting there with John Doe, and he would go off in a 25-minute freaking monologue about how his beer's not carbonated enough and what happened to the molecules inside the can. And I'd be like, bro, I don't know, man. And meanwhile, Buffalo Bill's out there tearing up the dance floor. He's probably wearing some freaking tight ass freaking yoga pants out there, just freaking slaying it.
Oh, and that's not yoga pants, my friend.
I think we would have a good time, and I think the drinks would be flowing, and I think the lotion would be abundant.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You know what though?
I'll go ahead and say this: that was the best question that has ever been asked in Slash It Out history.
I'll say, man, because in Seven, whenever they're reading the book, and it was still one of the only funny moments and the greatest quote of the whole movie is like, I was riding on the subway today, and for no reason at all, I ralphed on somebody.
Yeah.
So,
but we can't do any better with questions on that. Surely not.
No, that's the end of it, man. That was the last one. That's the last one I had.
Oh, thank goodness, because I hate saying the things I did with Seven, because Seven is just such a damn spectacular movie, and this was a hard battle.
Yeah, and you'll notice that I never really bashed Silence of the Lambs in this because it's not. I mean, it's another one. Seven is in my top 5 favorite movies ever. Silence of the Lambs probably in the top 10, 15 tops. I mean, this is a tough battle, man.
Well, see, the difficulty for me was like, because they are so different, there's a lot of questions on here. Because I had a question, was like, okay, let's talk about gore or things like that, and it's like there's very little gore in Silence of the Lambs. So I'm like,
that police officer and the little angel thing, that's gory crap right there.
Even Seven, dude, like that's one of the things I really love about this movie is you don't see any of the kills. Like you don't see.
You see imagination.
Yeah, you see John Doe's kill. That's the only kill you see. You see the aftermath every time, the crime scenes, and you see the Mills's reaction to the crime scenes, and I love that, dude. And the like after the lust kill, you know what I'm talking about? The thing we talked about earlier, the old freaking the knife cock thing. The dude that was wearing it, man, to see his reaction in the interview room, holy shit, man!
Dude,
like
that performance, whoever that actor is, I've seen him a few times since then, but he doesn't have any, I don't think, any big name roles. But yeah, that performance, and he was like, and I fucked her, I did it, I fucked her.
He loses it.
Great.
Yeah,
dude.
And yeah, you didn't see.
Man, they could use lotion in that situation.
Oh my gosh.
If only they had Buffalo Bob around, dude, to toss in.
Yeah, I know he would have made the experience at least more smooth.
That I'll say another great quote. It's underrated. Whenever she knocks on the door and says, "Do you know so and so?" and he goes, "Oh, well, she a great big fat person."
Oh, Ted Levine was so freaking good,
Oh,
dude.
I know, man.
Yeah, man. Like he nailed Buffalo Bill.
Oh, it'd fuck me. Yeah, it's so weird too. It's like for that, he's like, if he does do drag or go out, man, forget about it. Can you imagine like that voice? He has like the manliest voice of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, my name is Chelsea.
Imagine if he had Tom Atkinson's stash, then all the ladies would be screwed.
Oh, yeah.
I love when he's trying to get that damn recliner in the back seat. He's like, "Hey, come help me out with this, man. My legs been broke."
I'm like to the girl, like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh yeah, right up, just a little bit farther up there. Yeah, right there. Getting there nice and deep, like.
That's right.
Yeah, then bam.
Could you pull it up into the van any farther? And he just shoves it back up in there.
He's the voice of Rusty Nail and Joyride. Candy cane.
Oh,
You know
yeah. Candy cane. Yeah. With the old fucking Steve. Was it Steve Zahn and Paul
Steve
Walker?
Zahn, Paul Walker did so
dude.
good.
Yeah, man. We need to do one of those. But yeah, I thought it was kind of difficult because they're share a lot of similarities, but they're also very different just in the way that I feel like the story is presented. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the
slow burn versus like the all out and out, relentless, just like, I don't want to say gore, but just shock, like between in the entire case from start to finish. So they're structured a little differently, but fucking awesome movies, man.
Yeah, like really is. It's like this is just like a iconic clash of the ages, and like you're gonna love both things about both movies, and it's almost impossible to say which one's better than the other.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it really is. They're
like it comes down to the smallest of details of which movie is better.
It really all depends on like what you're in the mood for, or
exactly.
What you prefer, you know what I mean? Because they're because of how different they are. Man, I gotta get these socks off.
Silence of the Lambs is very much an Oscar type kind of movie you would see. Like it's not Seven's not really that. It's not gonna be appealing to the Academy per se. I don't think so.
And that explains the 82% of the critics score, just the way you mentioned it there.
Yeah.
See, I thought that it was going to be. I thought that it was lower than that. That was my even the general audience and the critics. I thought whenever it came out that it was almost like a Blade Runner type situation or something. I thought that it was kind of panned by everyone. You know what I mean? Like whenever it initially came out, it was like a cult almost kind of movie or something like that. I didn't realize that it was so well received, but.
That might have been the case. You got to realize it came out in 91, so the reviews that are on there now came out post-internet. So like now everything's going to be positive just after it's had a chance to simmer down a little bit. Halloween was the same way. Nobody liked it when it came out critically, and now if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, it's in the 90s on critics. So
horror movie of all time.
Yeah.
Same thing with Fincher's next movie, which was Fight Club, which is my favorite movie of all time.
You're not supposed to talk about Fight Club, asshole.
You're right. Damn it. I broke rule 1 and 2. Fuck me.
Continue.
And it was panned. It didn't make a lot of money. Wasn't received well critically or general audience. And then like what was it? Maybe 5 or 6 years ago or something. It like won the. Well, I guess it was probably 10 years ago. It was whenever Spike TV was still relevant. You guys remember that shit?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Spike TV gave it like the manliest movie of all time or something like that. I mean, it's won a lot of other awards since then, but it's funny. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Spike TV,
well, it was like the Man Awards or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's been such a long time ago, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Mel Gibson rode out, and this was like right after Apocalypto, and he had all that bad publicity and all that. He like rode out on a donkey and was like, "The award goes to Fight Club," and Brad Pitt walks up and accepts the award, and he's like, "Thanks, sugar tits." Which is what he called the cop. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but Mel Gibson got like pulled over and he called the cop sugar tits. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Brad Pitt says, "Thanks, sugar tits."
Oh man, but no, we pretty much just nailed everything that we wanted to with both of these movies. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we close out?
I just think it'd be fun. I'd like to do another conversation with both of these movies on future Beers episodes. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, we can make that happen for sure.
in more detail. And now that you mention it, Chris, I think a Fight Club episode would be fantastic too. Maybe a watch party.
Yeah, because I've never seen Fight Club before.
Ooh,
so that would be an excellent one to visit.
Yeah, I think maybe at some point in our future we're gonna have a live Beers with the Bros watch party watching Fight Club for sure. I think that'd be a good time.
I would love to do that, man.
Yeah, we'll get that scheduled for a future Saturday Beers with the Bros episode in the future. Absolutely. So, you want me to close this out?
Well, Brett, before you do that, we have another episode Slash It Out coming out really soon. And I know we're probably going to have a harder time picking which side we're going to do.
Please tell me you got the coin.
I got the coin. Do you want to flip one? You want me to flip it again?
You flip it because I don't have a coin on me.
I got mine.
And I don't feel like tossing my tablet.
I got it right here. I got my freaking quarter. You can tell it's
I'm going I'm going tails. So I trust
There's heads, there's tails. Okay. So you said you're going tails?
I always go tails.
We're going 2 out of 3 or just one flip?
Oh, let's just go one flip.
All right, I'm going to let you call it. You said tails. All right, here we go. It's tails, my friend.
Yes!
You finally win one.
And I know exactly which one I'm picking too. So should we go ahead and reveal what that episode is?
Yeah, what the hell?
All right, let's do it. I'm going to be
Assuming nothing changes, this is what it's going to be.
Assume if nothing changes or scheduling. But this is actually it'll still happen. It's just scheduling wise. I'm going to be picking Strangers Pray at Night, the sequel to The Strangers, against Brad's movie he'll defend is Summer of '84, and we have a very special guest moderator for that as well, and that will be. Wait for it. No, just kidding. You're not going to wait for it. Destiny Faulkner will be back onto this channel to be the special guest moderator for both of those movies, and we're both excited to tackle that Slash It Out.
Heck yeah, dude. That's gonna be a good time. I'm kind of upset that I lost the coin toss, but I like Summer of '84. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, I've never seen it before, so that's why I had to hop on The Strangers Pray at Night one because I've seen that movie multiple times and I love that movie.
Heck yeah, it'll be fun then. It'll be a good episode.
Absolutely. So before we can get to that episode, I got to end this one just like Chris has to end that beer. So. What did you all think about this Slash It Out? Are you on Brad's side that Se7en was the best movie of the two? Or are you on my side of where Silence of the Lambs was better of the two? Let us know in that comment section down below. Let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can do so by finding us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Twitter, Snapchat, Spotify, and Apple freaking Podcast. Those links are going to be down in the description for you.
Especially for this Slash It Out, for those podcasting for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And be sure to follow us on Snapchat because on February the 27th, we are going on a little trip to the ATL to visit good old Bradley to go to our first horror convention for Days of the Dead, and to follow along with our crazy adventure on that day. Snapchat's the best way to do it.
Right you are. And we will. We will.
Not yet, my friend. I was just testing you.
Fuck ourselves hard.
So be sure to like this video, subscribe, and share our channel. It will help us just to provide better Slash It Out and Beers with the Bro episodes in the future. And ring that bell, ding, 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 so you know when the next video is up and ready.
And we will. See you guys soon.
See you guys.
Bro.